All right, for number 20, once again, we are just looking at the graph. They do not tell us to go to the passage. They're asking about the graph. You should not be answering this based on anything except the chart. That is it. So the way that this one works is we're looking for choices that are inaccurate, basically. So they're going to try to manipulate you in lots of different ways. This is a good one to kind of remind you of the different traps that they're trying to set. So let's look at just choice A here. Which statement is best supported by information presented in the table? Between 1985 and 2011, the proportion of inaccurate news stories rose dramatically. Well, if we look at this, the first question here seems to be talking about accuracy. And look, these numbers are definitely going up as you go from 1985 to 2011, but we have to be careful. And this is why when you have a chart question, read everything. The title of the chart kind of tells us what we're dealing with here. We weren't measuring news stories. This chart, this survey is asking people what they think about the news. So as these numbers go up, that's not because there's more news that's inaccurate. It just means that people think that there's more news that's inaccurate. It could be that both things are true, but we don't know based on the chart about the actual number of inaccurate news stories. So this is a good example where they're trying to confuse you about what the chart says. It's not necessarily true that people saying the news is more inaccurate means that the news actually is more inaccurate. Those are different things. So that gets rid of A. Choice B, between 1992 and 2003, the proportion of people who believed that news organizations were biased almost doubled. Okay, so we go to the bias one. So tend to favor one side. That's another definition of the word bias. So we can look at that. And they said 1992 and 2003. So that's these two numbers. Well, that's just an increase of 3. That's not doubling. So I don't even know what they're asking here. I don't know what they would hope that I got confused on, but yeah, that's not even close to doubling. In fact, none of these numbers really doubles from 1992 to 2003. So even if you were looking at the wrong part of the chart, I don't know why we would pick that. Choice C, between 2003 and 2007, people's views of the accuracy, independence, and fairness of news organizations changed very little. So this is basically a big picture kind of chart. So 2003 to 2007, that means we're just looking from this column to this column. So are these numbers changing a lot or a little? 36 to 39, 56 to 53, 8 to 8, 23 to 23, 70 to 69, 7 to 8, 26 to 26, 66 to 66, 8 to 8. There's a little change at the top, but it's a small number. I know that sometimes how big of a change something is a bit of a subjective kind of thing, but I think it's pretty obvious here. This is not a big change. So this feels right. We should check D just to make sure. But yeah, it seems like it's not really changing a lot between those years. If we had looked at too many years, different story. Between 2007 and 2011, people's perception that news organizations are accurate increased, but people's perception that news organizations are fair diminished. Okay, so accuracy is here, and that the years, just be clear, is 2007 to 2011. So, well, that doesn't seem right. News organizations are accurate increased. Well, get the facts straight, decreased. 39 to 25. So that just seems inaccurate. I don't even need to check the second part. It's just wrong. So C is right. We still have to do a lot of work and really understand this chart, but a question like this is really just testing accuracy. So it's important to keep track of what the chart is actually measuring, because they're going to try to slip things by you, mostly like they did in choice A, where they're trying to tell you, make you think that the numbers mean something other than they actually mean. So you have to just be careful. Read the title, read the legend if there's a legend, any notes at the bottom, things like that. Just keep track of it all. But then beyond that, it's just looking and seeing, do numbers go up or do they go down? That's it.